Hello, welcome back. Today we'll discuss about designing for everybody and why companies should focus on accessibility in design. But before that, let's first quickly talk about what does it mean by accessibility in design. So, see, every product should be able to be used by people with all kind of abilities, which means people with different kind of physical abilities, people with different kind of sensory or cognitive or any communication disabilities. Now let's elaborate a bit these different kind of abilities. Let's say physical abilities include your mobility impairments or your dexterity impairments, and sensory abilities means you have low vision or you have blind vision or you are deaf or you have a bit low vision, and communication abilities means you have difficult in speaking or use a different language devices. Cognitive ability means different intellectual abilities, different learning abilities, different attention span, and different problem solving skills. Now it's true that all the features of any product or service cannot be designed that it satisfy the needs of everybody, but every product and service has some basic need that it satisfy. At least that need should be accessible to everybody. The best example you all may have seen in your smartphone is the accessibility features that is somewhere in the settings. So what it does, you can change the text size for people who have impaired vision, or you can use text to speech for people with low vision or some hearing impairments. So, or you may have seen that in some TV remotes, the important button like power on off volume buttons are also have the braille numbering or braille signs on that. Or you may have seen that in lifts or elevators that you have the braille numbering on all the buttons. So these are some of the examples where a lot of companies or product categories have decided that they will use accessibility in their design. But still there is a lot of companies and a lot of product categories in which the design for accessibility is still not there. Now there are a lot of companies in a lot of different product categories who can include these accessibility elements in their design, but for some reason they are not doing it. Now for those companies who are still not embedding these accessibility elements in their design, I have some points that why you should do it. First of all, it's a good business with a large number of people who are overlooked by most of the companies. You can make them your loyal customers because these people have the same purchasing power and are very frustrated because they cannot find any product that fits their needs. By making your product accessible to all of them, you can increase your market size, and once you get them hooked onto your product, it's very likely that they will stick to it and become your loyal customers. Secondly, it is morally and ethically the right thing to do. Everybody has the right to use and communicate your technology and products, but often people with disabilities find it very difficult to use a lot of product and services and feels left behind. Third point is for my fellow designers. It's a good design practice to include all the people in your design research. I understand that it may take some extra effort on your side during design research or doing defining personas and market research, or it may take some longer time in the whole product development cycle, but when you will see the joy on the faces of people who will be using it, it will be worth it. And the final point is that we should not wait for it to become a legal requirement to include accessibility in product design. We should start doing it before that. Like in the USA, all companies must comply with the Americans and Disability Act, which prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities. I know that it only applies to behavior and opportunity, but we should not wait for this law to come to products also. A lot of business owners see these compliances and regulations as burden and do not want to devote any resources or funds if it's not enforced by the law. But that should not be the mindset of a company who wants to be an industry leader. Now let's talk about the ways in which companies can include accessibility in their design. Here we will talk about two scale of companies. One is small scale or medium scale or startups, and second is large scale companies or big brands. First, let's talk about the new companies or startups. Their superpower is they can adapt fast. So they should include accessibility in their design from the ground up in all of their product lineups. That will help them to set apart from the competitors, acquire new customers, and also set standard for all the new companies in that product category. And then let's talk about the big brands or the big companies. You can start focusing on one or two products in a lineup that you can market to a specific demographic. Also, for big brands, it's much easier to start with one and then move to other categories based on the response in a specific market. One of my favorite example is Nike's hands-free shoes, which was an internet sensation when it was introduced, because designing for accessibility not only benefits people who needs them, but other users also find them quite easy to use. If you are a company owner, I would like to request you to use accessibility in your design. And if you are a designer, I would like to ask you to include more demographic of consumer in your design research and devote some extra effort in the product development. And if you are a consumer, I would like to request you to support and shop from the brands who use accessibility in the design. And if we all come together, maybe someday we will have universally usable products. Thank you for joining today. If you found this video helpful, then please consider subscribing for more insightful content. See you next time.